Welcome back to Supercharged Fridays 220th episode of live streaming right here on Facebook, LinkedIn, as well as YouTube. How is it going? If we haven't met before, hello, welcome. My name is Sonal Behel. I am a career strategist and former HR director, and I help people who are going through transitions in their career, whether it's in function, in their company, a different industry, a different geography, all of that good stuff. I do this through one on one coaching, group coaching, digital courses, YouTube channel, going live like this every Friday, as well as a podcast called How I Got Hired. If you like podcasts, you should check that out. It's called How I Got Hired, and I interview amazing people from around the world. So let us get into it. I do this every Friday. It's my favorite part of the week, helping people who need like quick help, right? They don't necessarily, you may not necessarily need a big fat coaching program. You may not even need a digital course, although I think they can be very helpful. They can be very sort of systematic and sort of step by step. You may not need that. Maybe you just have sort of one problem and you need a perspective on that. Check that out. I mean, feel free to put this in the chat. I would love to see how I can help. Oh shucks, did I leave my phone behind? Okay. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm viewing all the comments. So if you're watching me live right now, drop in the comment and say hi. How has your week been? Let's chat, and if there's anything that you need help with, any perspectives, I'd love to sort of step in and help you with that. In the meantime, I'm going to take a quick sip of my chai. Ah, cheers. Thank you for being here. And wherever you're watching me, put it in the comments so that I know you're watching me live and I'm not sort of talking to myself and, not making a bigger ass of myself than usual. So that would be, yeah, that would be helpful. Let me see what's happening there. Hi, thank you for tuning in, Mira. How are you? Thank you, Anil, for being here. I see a question already, Mira. Thank you. Your question is, I want to start my career online, but I am clueless on how to do that. Okay. Mira, let me throw a question back to you. What do you mean by start your career online? What do you mean by that? Explain that to me. What does that sound? What does that look like to you? Who do you see who's doing that? When you say career online, do you mean digital marketing? Do you mean like I want to launch a course? I don't quite understand. So that would help a little bit so I know I don't sort of just blab something which makes no sense, but actually something that, is relevant to your situation. So I'll wait for you to come back to me and we'll get right into it. I want to say also very quickly, if you're watching me live, I do want to give a quick shout out, total plug to a masterclass that I'm going to be doing. In case you missed that announcement, I did talk about it last week, that I will be announcing it. So on the 19th of April, so that's 2 Fridays from today, I will be doing a masterclass on how to supercharge your career, whether it's starting from a new position, looking for a different role. How do you do that? I will be sharing my favorite tips and strategies. I'll be sharing mistakes that I have made. And I'll also share what helped me to stand out when I graduated in with an MBA in 2009 in the middle of a global financial crisis, and how I managed to snag 5 job offers. I'll be sharing all of that good stuff with you. So if you're watching me live and if that is something that is of interest to you, take advantage. I'm sharing the link on my YouTube. You just have to sort of click it and register, and you'll automatically be registered to the live stream on Friday. Okay, so weirdly, I don't see any comments on LinkedIn, which is a bit unusual. It's possible, it can happen, but it's a rather strange thing. So I'm just gonna check on the tech side. If you guys are watching me on LinkedIn, can you just let me know that things are working? Because that tends to happen with LinkedIn a lot, where there's a glitch and the comments are not coming in real time. So yeah, So far, it doesn't look like anything. Like I don't see a single comment on there, which is a little bit weird. Doesn't tend to happen as much. But in the meantime, let's talk with people who are here. Yeah, Mira, you're here. Did you manage to go through my question so that let me know a follow up so I can help you, right? And another question here. Let us get into it. What happens when an employer offers you a short timeline mhm, to accept the offer or not? 2 days. Yeah, I know. There's a little bit of a double standard here. When they want you to accept, they will not give you time because they're worried that you might get picked up by someone else. But when they want to give you the offer, they will take as long as they need, right? So it's not fair and it's not perfect. I get that. But if you want to take more time, explain to them and say, I'd like, may I have 2 additional days, please? Because this is a very important decision. And I'm just, taking this time to study the offer in more detail and prepare a set of questions so that when I come to you with my questions, I feel like I have, been through it properly. So ask for the right reasons. Don't just ask them because you might make them nervous because they might think that you're going to go and get another offer and use this one as leverage. It's the biggest nightmare for any recruiter or hiring manager. It's when they have laid everything out and they decide to make you an offer, you found something better. It's normal. It's normal. So you want to reassure them that it's not the case for you. So yeah, but congrats. I would say that's really good news. It's congratulations. It's a fantastic thing that you have had the offer. Fadi, thank you. All is good. It's just a bit quiet on LinkedIn. It's not that it's not working. It just means it's a bit quiet. That's okay. I appreciate you letting me know. Thank you so much. Because it's not always obvious. What else is happening? Um, Hey Saeed, I am. Do I call you Saeed? Do I call you Mohammed? I'm not really. Sometimes I'm not sure. What is? How do you prefer to be addressed? Because I want to be very respectful of that, and I also want to say, is Ramadan over for you, or is it still very much happening? Ramadan Kareem. I'm a continuous improvement manager, senior. Let's not forget senior. I need your services to enhance my career for a director role. Fantastic, Saeed, Mohammed. Please feel free to reach out to me. All my contact information is available on LinkedIn or on YouTube. Just go to my email, sonal@superchargeyourself.com, and let's see whether I'm the right person to help you, what exactly do you need, and how I can help. Okay, good luck. Hi, Tejaswini. Do you think there is a stigma associated with a career gap? It is viewed negatively. I wish I could say it's not. Okay, because I've had multiple career gaps in my career. Um, I will answer this in a way which will feel a bit philosophical to you. Okay, I'm gonna say that the stigma will only be as big as you let it. And if you come from a place of feeling guilty or feeling bad because you took a break, you took a pause, okay? None of us like genuinely, it's very rare that we take a pause because we just felt like it. Okay, we need to earn money, we have mounting bills to pay, okay? When we tend to take a pause, it is usually something important, right? I mean, the exception is, you're backpacking around Europe or you won the lottery and you want a trip around the world. That's okay. That's different. Those are not normal. Those are not the daily occurrences. What tends to happen is there's an addition to the family. We needed to spend time with that baby and make sure that baby is healthy. It took 1 or 2 years off. Or our parents are aging and we had to take care. Maybe the parent is at the end of their life and you want to be there for them, right? This type of stuff, right? Or you were taking care of an ill family member who needs time and they are recovered. Maybe there was health concern. Maybe you have a health concern. It could be that you change countries because your spouse moved countries and you had to move with them. So those are very kind of acceptable things, but society doesn't like that. Society likes to put people in boxes. And if you don't fit in a box, it's like you're weird. Something is wrong with you. You'd only let it affect you if you let them think it's true. But it's more about how you view it. Every time I've come back from a career pause, I feel like I've come back stronger than before. So I view it as an asset, not as a negative thing. Maybe they do view it as negative, but I don't care. Okay. So how you view it is more important than how society views it and whether it's a stigma or whether it's the best thing that happened to you. Even though you may not feel it right now, but it might be the best thing that ever happened to you. Down the road, you may realize because you connect the dots backwards, as um, Steve Jobs said. All right. Okay. YouTube is working. Hopefully, YouTube was working the whole time. All right. Fantastic. So, Mira, did we was you the one who asked the question earlier? Start my career online. I got it. Got it. I'm a homemaker. Should I go for any course in digital marketing? Mm-hmm. This is my second inning. Oh, that's fantastic. Congratulations. I'm glad you're making this decision and you feel ready to jump in. Okay. I don't know whether it's digital marketing or whatever it is you want to do. It's about, you need to dig a bit deeper honestly, then ask a random stranger on the internet what you think you should do. You need to dig a bit deeper on a couple of things. Number one is your values. Okay. What are you, what do you care about? What are some things, no matter what, you care about them? You need to make a list of your values. You need to make a list. Second, you need to make a list of your strengths. What are you strong at? And please don't tell me I've been a homemaker for X number of years and I don't know my strengths. You have certain strengths. You are organized. You get things done. You are resilient. All of that stuff. Okay. Make a list of those strengths. You can do some online tests, strength tests for free. And then the third thing is, what are the things you like to do? And you like to do them so much that you could do them for free because it's just a joy. You want to be somewhere. I'm kind of paraphrasing and I'm oversimplifying here because this is a much deeper, much more deep exercise that I do with my clients. But you want to be at that intersection of these three: values, strengths, and desires. Somewhere in the middle of those three. You're going to find what makes you unique. Okay. And you're also going to find out, I want to try this. And you don't have to view it as the next thing that you do. You don't have to view it as something permanent. Come across as a scientist and view it as an experiment and try something out for 6 months, try something out for 12 months. There is no pressure. The only pressure is the pressure you might be putting on yourself. Okay. I would say that would be a good place to start. Hello, Texas is in the house. How are you doing, Kevin? You guys follow Kevin D. Turner, who is a complete like LinkedIn superstar. Definitely worth following. Hey, Kevin, it's been a while. How are you doing? We need to have you back, I think, on Supercharge Fridays. Oh, that reminds me. Thanks, Kevin, for dropping in. Next Friday, I will have Tina Jarvit here. If you are not familiar with Tina, Tina is a headhunter who's based here in Belgium, speaks 9 languages, originally from Estonia. And we are going to talk about LinkedIn Recruiter. So she uses LinkedIn Recruiter day in and day out as a headhunter. And we are going to talk about what are some aspects you need to keep in mind. So that'll be a very juicy session because she's an avid user of LinkedIn Recruiter. And how does your profile look on LinkedIn? What are some things that matter coming from a point of view of someone who's using LinkedIn for recruiting? I think that'll be very useful. So definitely join me for that one next Friday at the same time. And oh, hold on. Is everything okay with my? I connected to the Wi-Fi. Oops. Okay. Is everything okay from connectivity? Like, hopefully, just give me a thumbs up, please. And something I forgot to do, but hopefully it shouldn't matter because I still connected to the Ethernet. So yeah, join me for the session with Tina next Friday, and in 2 weeks' time. So some exciting things coming up. Next Friday is with Tina, and then in 2 weeks, which is 2 Fridays from now, is that live masterclass that I'm doing on how to supercharge your career. And if you want to go deeper and you like that masterclass, I'm going to be opening up my next group cohort, right? If that is of any interest, back in 2 weeks' time, we have time. I'd love for you to join. And if you do end up joining that cohort, we start in May. And if you do end up joining that cohort that I have, job search and career cohort, very small, normally like 5 to 10 people, then Tina will be coming in. I'm going to be engaging her as an expert. Okay. I'm going to be bringing her on and we're going to look at your profile inside LinkedIn Recruiter and we will do a demo actually with her. So that'll be really, really value for, value for money, value for time. So do make sure you attend my free masterclass in 2 weeks' time, as well as the live masterclass with Tina next week on LinkedIn Live. The LinkedIn Live masterclass with Tina, the LinkedIn Live Supercharge Fridays, that's for everyone. For the masterclass in 2 weeks' time, which I'm talking about, which is superchargeyourself.com/career. For that, please remember you have to register. It's not open to the public, it's free, but you have to register for it. Okay, that was a nice little what do you call it? Nice little plug. Okay, what else is happening? Hey Joe, good morning. Morning. How are you doing, buddy? Good to see you, Kevin. Yeah, you and Tina both rock for sure. Um, okay. Hey Muskan. For those who don't know, Muskan's a lovely, lovely name. It has a lovely meaning in Hindi. Those who are watching me in India, you can put it in the comments because you know what it means. But for those who are watching me who don't know what it means, can you guess what it means? Because I'll tell you the answer in a bit. And here's a hint. Okay, I feel like an ass. Okay. Hi, Muskan. I want to make sure I don't lose your question with my silly little distractions. It's been around 2 years. I'm working in a multinational company as a fresh grad. I'm not getting a good salary. Also, I'm not expecting to get a good appraisal. I think it's going to be a 1 or 2% hike only. Is this the right time to switch? Muskan, I don't know. I don't know. I think it depends. I think that salary is important, growth is important, but I think at this stage you also want to spend time learning, and maybe don't make decisions which are only driven by money, not yet. Okay, because I'm not saying that money is not important. Never going to say that. Okay, money is very important, but when you are younger and if you've worked only 1 or 2 years, you have a different sort of financial burden compared to when you get older and when you have kids and you have parents dependent, etc. So I wouldn't make those decisions solely based on money. Why are they doing this? Are they making so much money and they're being completely like small, like pennies and pocket change, and they're fighting and they're not giving others? But is the company even profitable? What are the financial results looking like? They tend to share these things with their employees. You want to see where it is, because it could be that it's across the board and sometimes leadership decides that we're not going to increase salaries for ourselves, let alone for everyone else. So it's across the board. Or is it only you? You need to know that first. Are people around you getting, or are they also getting 1 or 2%? Like, what's happening there, right? And also pay attention to culture. Do you like working there? If you don't like working there, you are not feeling used well, like utilized, your skills are not and then the money is also grabbed, then what's the point, right? But I want you to pay attention to all of these aspects because they matter. Money will come. Please don't worry. I'm 45 years old. I wish people had told me this earlier. When you're good at what you do and you go about it in a good way, you let the right type of people know. When you are there, you are present. You don't just work hard quietly in a corner like a mouse and nobody knows that you're there, and you work hard but that's it. But you're visible. Okay, when you are good at what you do and you're visible, money will come. Don't worry about it, whether it's in this company or another company. If you decide to leave this company, let it be for a bigger reason. For example, maybe they don't respect you and they made some promises. That's different. But if it's purely like I was expecting and I didn't get, don't worry about it. Okay. Okay. Just kind of checking on other aspects of the. Okay. Hey there, I got promoted recently. Congratulations. Good for you. Okay. Okay, Muskan. I hope that has been helpful. What else is happening? Hey there. Is it better to put direct resignation or talk to manager for salary raise if we have an offer? I would say always talk first. Yeah, firstly, congrats. It's great. But talk before you. Once the letter is done, it's very final. And how you leave is as important as how you start. So remember, people are watching. The world is a very small place. And you never know what happens in the future, who works for whom, who goes to which company. So I would say always leave pleasantly, civil, professional, and talk about it first. Even if you've typed out the resignation letter, that's okay. I think otherwise it's a massive communication breakdown, right? Okay. Hey Dinesh, as a recruiter, we tend to do the routine, same kind of job of filling positions, even though we get to work on different types of requirements. As we continue to gain experience, what additional qualities or skills are we supposed to sharpen, especially when we want to climb up the managerial role? Okay. Very good question, Dinesh. I'm so happy you're asking. Average is good, by the way. Average is not easy. Recruiting is bloody hard. I've worked in recruiting for years. It is very number driven, very brutal, and very thankless. When you're doing a great job, nobody cares about you. It's only when, when companies like hemorrhaging money, where is Dinesh? Call him, then they want to know on the recruiter side. I remember this part very well. How do you want to be, how do you want to stand out? There's a couple of things I can think of. One is in your role today, and one is what else attracts you, right? Within your role today, one thing you can focus on in order to differentiate yourself from being a good recruiter to a great recruiter, and anyone who is a candidate today will tell you, will agree with me here. Okay. One of the ways you can do it is elevate candidate experience. I remember talking about candidate experience in 2002, 2003. We were learning all of this stuff at GE Capital, and we took it really to the extreme to make sure that they had a good experience. But how can you do that? This will help your company stand out with its EVP, employer value proposition. It'll also help you to be more memorable as a recruiter, right? So that when the time comes when you want to do other roles, people remember this aspect. And there is a way to even quantify it and see an ROI on it, the candidate experience, right? So doing a great job, candidate experience, filling up the time to fill, all of those KPIs are in place. Before we think about other things, you want to make sure that you're top of your game when it comes to the kind of job you're doing today. If positions that you're filling up start getting a bit repetitive, look for different type of requirements. You've written that here. Look for more seniority so that you get exposed to people like that as well. So when you're interviewing them, you feel like you're at that level. I remember I was a 22, 23-year old in GE. I was hiring vice presidents. Those vice presidents had no idea I was this baby who was 22, 23 because of the way I was just coming across. Was I faking it? Yes. Yes, that's okay. Okay. So that is on the recruitment domain. What else attracts you? Go and figure it out. Talk to people. Put your hand in multiple pies. There's so many direct um, transferable skills that come from recruiting, sales, right? Dealing with people, difficult people, closing, negotiation. There's so much you can do that. You can do sales with that. You could do purchasing with that. You could be very good at purchasing, right? So you could do other things. You don't have to be like once a recruiter, always a recruiter. Okay, no such thing. So good luck. Excited for you. What's happening? Hi, Royston. Why did you choose Belgium as a place to settle down compared to all the other English speaking countries? That's such a good question, Royston. Some of it I've talked about on a podcast episode I did with my like talking to someone, and I explained my history. If that's of interest, let me know. I'll send that over to you. I appreciate that you're interested. I did not want. How do I say this? I did not want to work in an English speaking country. I wanted to broaden my horizons. And typically, when people come from India, they want to work in UK, USA, Australia, and Canada. I didn't want to work in any of those countries. I wanted to be completely out of my comfort zone. I had an offer from the UK, fantastic offer from a beautiful company. If I tell you the name, I'm not going to do that, but if I tell you the name, you'll be like, you should slap yourself. Why did you say no? It just didn't excite me, right? I had gone from India to South America. So I was speaking in Spanish. I loved being the exotic, unusual species there. Like, the only way is, where do you come from? You come from India. What are you doing here? We thought you're Brazilian because of your height and my skin color. Because South America, you guys may not know this, South America is very white. So, and there you are, like La Morena, the brown one. And that's interesting. So they all thought I was Brazilian. I enjoyed learning. I enjoyed being the only one. And I enjoyed being put in a corner and learning Spanish in 1 year and becoming fluent in 1 year. Everybody's different. This can be a nightmare for someone, but I was one of those very, very curious people. Even as a kid, wanted always like people watching, observing. Maybe you recognize some of this when you hear this about me. Maybe you recognize this in yourself. So when the time came to be in Europe, I did my MBA in a French speaking country. It was in English, of course. We were in a bubble, but the roles I had offers to, I had an offer, two offers in Paris, one offer in the UK, one offer in Belgium, and one offer in India. And I chose the one that was the most unfamiliar. This was the one in Belgium, and it required me to learn French very quickly, and I loved that. So it's just a long answer, but quickly recap: personal preference. So many positive and motivating words. You're so welcome. You're so welcome, Mira. I'm so happy because whether you decide to do full-time paid work or not, it's your choice. Okay, I just feel like when people don't do full-time paid work because they say, I'm a homemaker, I'm a mom, and it's enough, that's absolutely fine. But what I don't like is when people lie to themselves and they're like, I'm fine, but then later they regret. I think we all have a gift and we are very good at something, and it's our life's mission to find out what that gift is. In Hindi we call it dharam, right? In Sanskrit, what is your dharam? You're very good at something. Need to figure out very quickly, if you can work with a coach, if you can, to find out what that is. And every time you're in that zone, it just makes you so happy. I think everyone deserves that. I think life's too short to do something just for the sake of earning money. It's not enough. Money is great, but doesn't have to be painful to earn. It can be a joy, right? I'm done with my lecture. Okay, I'm going to take your last question here, and I'm going to let you guys go because I think I don't see any other questions, and yeah, as always, running a little late. Kids are home with spring break and Easter break at home. I'll go downstairs, make them a meal, feed myself. Cheers. It's still warm. I thought it said Uber, so it said user. Hi, user. Very unique name you have. If a candidate applies for a job in a company's official website, all other candidates' resumes will be read by a human being, or very few will be read by HR. Okay. So you're probably asking me about the ATS, the applicant tracking system. Listen, it's it's a cabinet, right? You have to sort of go through it. It makes the life of recruiters easy because people are placed through the system, and there are some sort of obstacles you have to go through. Those obstacles tend to be quite straightforward. you know you've written in the language they want. Do you speak the language? Do you have permission to work in this country? Are you 18 years of age or older? Do you have a graduate diploma? Those are the kind of things they tend to ask, right? um Beyond that, it is read by a human set of eyes. It is. Every one of them. Every one of them. Would certain words, key words, help maybe in those rankings? How is it? Is it random? I don't know. But I have talked about this in more detail with a recruiter who has worked with 6 different ATSs, applicant tracking systems. His name is Ed Hahn. He's based in New York, and he does a lot of tech recruiting. So if that is of any interest at all, send me a message on my LinkedIn or an email, but preferably LinkedIn because I check that a lot more frequently, and I'll send that over to you. And he gets into lots of detail on what he looks for. So you essentially do want to have keywords. You don't want to stuff those keywords so it looks like ChatGPT has written it just so that it shows up. But you want to have them sprinkled all across, but especially in the executive summary. So when they read it, they feel like they're talking to their ideal, to the ideal person that they're looking for. Um, so I hope this helps you. Good luck. Hi, Sobnath. What's happening? You're new to my channel. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Listen, one thing I will ask for, and I will ask for it very unapologetically. If my work has been helpful, there's some people who come back and they tell me, and there's some people who don't. And that's absolutely fine. It's okay. This is not about ego. But when you feel like someone's doing good work and it's been done for free, like I've been doing this for free for years, I'd love for you to share how it's helped you, right? And in the form of a testimonial on LinkedIn. It's a small thing you do, but it means a lot to me because more people can discover my work. If you follow a creator online and you like what they do, please let them know. Like, this comment is so sweet, Shobnath, you just made my day, right? So thank you so much. And if you want to take it to the next level, I'm not being greedy. I'm just telling you, if I don't ask, it's always going to be a no, right? So how has my work helped you? Feel free to put this in a recommendation format on LinkedIn. It means a lot to me. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but even like sharing this right now means it's very kind. So I think we have it backwards in the world where we tend to praise people privately and criticize them publicly. Have you noticed? If you just see comment section on Instagram or YouTube, you'll know exact or Twitter. My gosh, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. We have it backwards. We have it the other way around. When we're happy with someone, we should like shout and say, "Hey, this is great work." And when we're not happy with someone, send them a message saying, or actually just leave them and unfollow them. Life's too short for, focusing on the negative. So, Lee, oh my God, so sweet. I'm seeing you after ages. Just done is what everyone should do. How to build your portfolio. It matters. It matters. And I'm not saying ask random people at random opportunities. I'm saying ask when you get a compliment. Could you document that for me? Could you put that in writing for me? If you don't do it, if you don't advocate for yourself, you think anyone's coming around and following you with a camera and a secretary is going to do that for you? No. We are our own best spokesperson, champion, mentor. Okay? Ask for it. Love that. Morning to you and afternoon here. It's 2:36 p.m. All right. Lovely, Lee. Thank you for like dropping in those little moments and sharing your pearls of wisdom with us. Ask about what you need. Be strategic. 100%. Okay. I thought I'm going to go. I see one last question. Hey, Joe Deed. The usernames are so interesting. I'm going to take this one last question and I'm going to let you guys go. How would you stay positive in the process of job application, especially when applying to many roles and getting rejections? Oh my God, rejection. I did a whole session. It is such a coincidence we're talking about this. I did a whole session on rejection with this woman. Goodness, Lee, I don't know if you can believe it. It's 4 years ago. It was 2020 May. Do you remember this? I'm not asking you to comment. You've commented a lot, but if you are hanging out and if you have a couple of minutes, feel free to share how to deal with rejection, because rejection is hard. Rejection is a biatch. Okay. Entering the reserve list after interviews. Yeah, you're like being the second choice, third choice. I think that you I've been through my own share of this and I'm telling you this from experience. But anyone who's watching right now, just feel free to share your experience, because this is not something that, oh, only he has been. No, we've all been through rejection, right? Whether in our personal life or professional life. You've got to remember to separate that the rejection is not you, it's the fit for that tiny little role in that giant company. So you got to kind of separate that identity part. I wish I knew this sooner. I didn't. And so that's why when we say rejection feels very personal, it doesn't have to be if you don't let it be personal. Okay. There are 2 or 3 ways to deal with rejection. The first is Remember that it's separate. Okay, it's not the biggest thing you can remember is don't reject yourself. Okay. The second thing is learn from this experience. Why was it a no? Why was it not a yes? It's not necessarily because some of those people were better than you. Maybe they are, but that's not in your control. Instead, focus on because your gut will tell you that you could have done something better. That answer was a bit wishy-washy, and I could have done this differently. Come back and learn from that experience. Make those notes so that you feel like your results are improving. If you don't do this, you're gonna stay. Okay, you gotta get into like real like magnifying glass and measure. Okay, analyze. That's it. You gotta get very methodical, almost like a scientist, and understand were there patterns. Very good, Lee. I completely agree with you, and you may not realize that you did something without realizing, and you can blindsided by it. And I can tell you, rejection is an amazing teacher. Success is the worst teacher. We don't analyze success. We only want to see what worked and what failed. We never see what worked and why was it successful. Also, look in your past and see places where you completely zoomed in and you were just like flying around and everything was easy. Why? Maybe you did something differently that you don't know. We need to analyze that as well, not only analyze rejection, because rejection gets otherwise blown out of proportion. Okay, it's one small thing in your career, but if you let it become huge, it becomes this huge thing in your career, and you forget all your past successes and all the places where you were successful. So you definitely want to learn from that experience. You also want to go back if possible and ask them, is there anything that you could have done differently? Because you are very committed to self improvement. You want to use those kind of words, right? Ask them for those types of feedback. Yeah, Lee, we're on the same page here. Ask them for feedback. um and in the US, you have to, in the US, it tends to be a little bit more of a litigation culture, and people don't want to share the feedback because they feel like they can be a lawsuit. So they may be a bit more sort of cagey about what they share with you. But in other cultures, not so much, right? But be careful. Oh my gosh, I have to say this to you. Be careful that the feedback you get is also like it has to make sense. Okay. I met this lady a couple of weeks ago who was given the most bizarre feedback I've ever heard in my life. Okay. She was told that she should think about working in retail front, how do you call it, front lines, like actually work in retail and talk to staff because they think it would help her to get a bit more loose. And she just she just didn't understand it, and she shared it with me, and I said, hello cuckoo. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Be careful with the feedback, because if this feedback is helpful or hurtful, or it's just downright cuckoo. Okay, so be careful with that. And you have to be very mindful that the rejection doesn't feel like a gate, that it's closed. um, no one's perfect. Very good, Lee. I'm so glad you talked about this, because there's another guy who talked earlier about asking about what makes a good recruiter from a great recruiter. And I was quoting some of the stuff that you talked about again 4 years ago when you were at Akathaway. And Lee's a very good example of a great recruiter. If you don't follow Lee, follow Lee. Even if you're not in the US, doesn't matter. She shares a lot of useful information on recruiting. But please remember, recruiters are human beings, which means human beings are bound to make mistakes, just like everyone else, right? They're not better than others. So hopefully, a lot of this helps you, Dodi. Appreciate you being here, and don't, please, don't give up. Please don't give up. You won't even remember some of this when you get successful, but remember when you get successful also to hold things and give equal weight. It's okay. Learn from the mistake, learn from the success, learn from failures. It's all part of life. Okay, it's not bigger, it's not smaller, it's all a part of life. So good luck with everything. And last, I'm just going to sort of remind you guys for thank you for being here. And do remember that I'm doing this live masterclass on the 19th of April. That's exactly 2 Fridays from today, almost at the same time, 3 p.m. Central European time. Superchargeyourself.com/career. And it's going to be on all things job search mistakes, what makes it successful, and overall career. I'll be sharing this for about 45 minutes to 1 hour. It's free to attend, but you do have to register. I hope you do this. And there is a group cohort behind it that I'm launching for the next one, which will be in the month of May. And if that is of interest, love to welcome you inside. And you also get an opportunity one on one before signing up. And you're like, hey, I'm not sure this is for me. We get to meet one on one and see, hey, is this going to help you or not? And the idea is to help you see if this is a fit. And if it's not a fit with the goals you need, I will tell you it's not a fit. This isn't about sort of just, blindly signing up for something without realizing if it's in alignment with your goals. So, all right. Don't take it personally. Yes, very true. Thank you, Lee. Thank you. Appreciate you being here. All right, folks, take care of yourselves. And remember, next Friday, I'm going to be joined by Tina Jarvet, who is an avid user of LinkedIn Recruiter, the product LinkedIn Recruiter. And we are going to talk about all things recruitment from a LinkedIn point of view. Make sure you attend. At the same time, make sure you tell your friends if this is of interest to them. And remember to register to the masterclass right here. And I shall see you at the same time next Friday. Wish you a lovely Friday and weekend.